Hello, we would like to present you our analysis of Детский мир and its performance. We have divided our video presentation into 5 groups: financial analysis, business description, evaluations and risks, forecasting and conclusion. We will start with the business description.
The Детский мир is a group of companies, the largest retail operator of children's goods in Russia and Kazakhstan. The Детский мир chain of stores is a leader in Russia in the children's goods market as it covers a wide age category. Another and no less important advantage of the company is that the Детский мир operates in the middle price segment.
The online store of Детский мир in 2016 became the largest specialized center of the online children's goods market. Over the past few years, the online store has demonstrated rapid growth in sales. The main keys of growth are a wide range of children's goods and not high prices, brand awareness, light asset business model, and effective strategy of reducing costs and maximizing returns.
The Russian market of children's goods in 2000s was the fastest growing in Europe. In general, the volume of toy segment is estimated at about 107 billion rubles.
Throughout the analyzed period, the liquidity ratio has always been below the normative value. Only in 2011 it was close to a low limit. This indicates the likely difficulties in repaying the organization's current obligations. Quick ratio was below the normative value from 2010 to 2016. Accordingly, liquid assets do not cover short-term liabilities, which means there is a risk of solvency, which is a negative signal for investors.
The growth of net working capital was observed only in 2011, and then the indicator sharply reduced every year. This signals the formation of unfavorable state of the organization, loss of production of the main type of activity. Stock turnover exceeds 2 annually. This means that the organization receives twice the value of its assets over the entire period. However, this factor cannot be considered an indicator of the effectiveness of the organization, because turnover is highly dependent on industry characteristics. In the organizations of trade, where large volumes of revenue pass, turnover is always higher.
Talking about average collection period from 2013, the indicator tends to grow and reaches 28 days by 2016. A high value of the coefficient may indicate difficulties in recovering funds from accounts receivable.
The average turnover ratio of accounts payable is 110.5. This indicator is the average number of days that a company requires to pay its bills.
Since 2013, net working capital turnover had a negative value. This indicates an inefficient investment in working capital and inefficient use of net working capital.
It is observed that fixed assets turnover was the lowest in 2013. This indicates a decrease in efficiency of the company's use of fixed assets. Low level of return on assets also indicates insufficient sales volume, but the values of the coefficient varies in different industries.
In general, analyzing the coefficients of business activity, we can conclude that in 2013, the company was subject to a number of negative trends, as there is a sharp decrease in the turnover of working capital, a decrease in the ratio of turnover of fixed assets.
Based on the indicators of the capital structure, we can draw the following conclusions. 87% of assets are annually financed by borrowed funds. 20.7% of assets are financed on the average due to long-term liabilities. High value of the financial independence coefficient also reflects the potential danger of an enterprise having a cash deficit. Interpretation of this indicator depends on many factors: the average level of this coefficient in other industries and the company's access to additional debt financing sources.
Profitability ratios show the following dynamic. The coefficient of profitability of gross profit reduced every year. The coefficient of profitability of net profit demonstrates a positive phenomenon, however, requires a more detailed calculation and accounting for inflation. The coefficient of profitability of non-current assets varies from year to year from 9.7% with minus in 2011 to 33% in 2016. In general, the growth of this indicator shows more efficient use of basic needs as well as a faster return on new investments in fixed assets.
Let's get down to valuation, namely profitable method. We calculated the cash flows for 2017, 2018, 2019 and 2020 using a profitable method. We took into consideration all main components that are necessary for the calculation of cash flows. The formula that was used is the following. You can see it on the screen. It's important to notice that the volume of cash flows decreased from year to year. Taking into account our calculations, the value of the whole company was estimated about 47.49 billion rubles. Hence, price per share is some 63.5 rubles. That's why, based on our estimates, we come to the conclusion that the shares of the company are overestimated since its current price per share fluctuates about 94-95 rubles. Comparing our results with the estimates of other analysts is completely different because it announced the price range of shares to conduct an IPO between 85 rubles and 105 rubles. Moreover, the whole company was estimated in the range of 62.8 to 77.6 billion rubles. Taking into consideration our estimates in terms of the low shares price, we made a decision to estimate its yield. So we calculated Detskiy Mir shares yield with a profitable method, using a correlation regression analysis. Apart from Detskiy Mir shares prices, we used the average shares yield. We got an equation which is the following. You can see it on the screen. After that, we calculated the shares yield using capital asset pricing model. We took into account risk-free return, the government bonds yield, which equals 7.5%, B coefficient taken from the equation, which equals 0.5, the average shares yield, which equals 10.9%, specific risk connected with this industry, which equals 2.5%. As a consequence, we applied the data to the capital asset pricing model to calculate the Detskiy Mir shares yield, and it's equal to 11.7%.
We conducted a comparative analysis of the companies Detskiy Mir and Mother Care because these companies are the competitors of the one market and their products are approximately identical. We used the data of the fourth quarter of the year 2017. According to our research, we can make a conclusion that it will be reasonable to sell all the shares because it cannot be lucrative for the investors to hold their shares.
The result of forecasting were obtained using the EU's program. The regression equations was formed, including a revenue as a dependent variable, birth rate per 1,000 people as independent variable, and average income as independent variable too. The regression equations is adequate and has the following form. You can see it on the screen. According to the balance sheet data, it is clear that the balance currency is declining, which is not a positive trend. Retained earnings is negative, which may be because shareholders annually decide to pay out dividends while not covering losses. The reason for loss may be cooperation with Ltd financial company Sistema, whose activities are unprofitable. That is, there is a high risk of non-return of the loan given to this company.
According to the data obtained, it is clear that the net profit indicator at the end of 2017 is negative and equal to $19,920.7 with a minus, while the net profit of 2018 is positive and equal to $38,535.4. In 2019, this indicator is also positive, but has a negative tendency in comparison with the data of 2018. This dynamic does not provide an opportunity to make an ambitious conclusion about the success of the activity.
Having analyzed the financial reports, we can say that the majority of indicators characterize Detskiy Mir's activity as unstable. It can be caused by trading industry's conditions. Taking into account the fact that retained earnings was directed to paying out dividends, it will be sensible and lucrative to hold the shares.